Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Wanted to talk, I haven't talked about it in a while, but we're going to talk about Russia, Ukraine, NATO, United States, China, Taiwan. Really what it is. It's, a lot of times we think of it because the news media. If you follow what is being told in the news media, they want to make you believe that this is just a fight between the aggressive Russia and the defender Ukraine. And of course, I've made it very clear on this channel over and over again, I'm not picking sides in that battle, but I am seeing that there's more to it than what we're told. And most of you see the same thing. That it's becoming more of really it's us against Russia, but it's even more than that. It's NATO, the West against Russia. And honestly, it's more than that. It's really the East versus the West. It was just a couple of weeks ago that Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin met once again, because they've done this several times now, but they met once again, voicing their togetherness and voicing how they were partnered in this, and that they would support each other, whether it be Ukraine or Taiwan or versus NATO, the West. And then in that meeting, they said that their greatest threat is NATO. And we're seeing that, we have funded this war. I don't know how anyone, regardless of their political position, would say that if we had not been involved in sending tens of billions of dollars to Ukraine, that this war would still be going. Of course it wouldn't be. It would be over by now. It would be done. So this is definitely a conflict between us, the West, and Russia and China. And there's been more escalation in that. And really the escalation, of course, is coming from our sides. We are continually upping the ante of sending more stuff over there, of saying that we're going to get involved just a little bit more. This is going to lead us to, I believe, some type of heated conflict between us and Russia and China. It's getting to the point that it's almost inevitable. I don't know how we could really reverse it at this point. Biden announced that we're sending Bradley fighting vehicles over to Ukraine. These aren't tanks, but they're close to that. It's better than what they have over there, which isn't a whole lot because it looks like most of it's been blown up. There's also possibility in talks of us sending actual tanks over there. At this point, why not we just send them a bunch of, big old fleet of fighter jets and a few battleships and, throw in some, intercontinental ballistic missiles and things like that, because it seems like we're just sending them everything. The UK is doing the same thing. They're sending tanks over to Ukraine. So this has got to be seen as just another escalation. It's one thing to be sending them a few bullets here and there and some small arms and maybe some rockets, but we're sending more offensive weaponry over there for Ukraine to use against Russia. It's not about whose side you're on. It's about what just is taking it on the surface. That's exactly what we're doing. We're funding this war. This war is every bit about us versus Russia as it is anything else. Just because we may not have a whole lot of our troops in country, and mark my word, we do. We absolutely do. I've heard it from very good sources, and you can just, even the president, even the Pentagon has admitted that there's forces in there that's manning some of these machines. The Patriot missile systems. You can't take that Patriot missile system that's in English and send it over there and translate it or teach them how to understand English and then how to understand how to work the stuff, because it's high-tech type of stuff compared to what a lot of the Ukrainian military is used to, and expect them to learn how to use it in just a few days' time. We have our people in country, so we do have Americans in country. Russia has announced that they're sending a ship to do some global patrolling. This ship has hypersonic missile systems on it, capable of shooting or firing missiles that travel over 7,000 miles per hour. I'm not saying that one ship is going to pose that much of a threat to the United States, but these hypersonic missile systems can certainly deliver payloads into the United States pretty much without us knowing it. I mean, by the time we got it figured out, it's mostly already here. It's a pretty fast missile, so it's just more and more escalation. And at this point, you know, is it going to happen? I can't see it not happening. I can't see it, you know, any other way at this point. But it's been drug out. And I think part of that is just, number one, it's giving America and the West time to kind of get ready for it. Maybe, you know, Europe mostly, and then. I think it's also one of their ways to manipulate the people, whether it's Europeans, Americans, Russians, whatever, manipulate them to get them, you know, kind of tired of it. You know, well, it's gone on so long. It's lost its pizzazz. I mean, you know, this whole war with Russia, we were all excited about it 6 months ago. We all thought it was going to happen, and we were all getting ready for it because it was just going to be the end of the world kind of thing. And now it's just whatever. And so if it happens, it happens, whatever. I think there's a part of a psychological manipulation going on there. I can't prove it. It's just an idea, but it wouldn't surprise me a bit. The possibility of this happening, I think, is still very real. There's constant escalation. I think a lot of us have just grown tired of it. We just don't want to hear news about it anymore. We want to move on with our lives. But the fact is that these kinds of events, like many of the others that we talk on this channel, they're not just moving on because you don't want to pay attention to them anymore. They're still real. They're still happening, and it's a way for the global powers to just get a little bit more control. They get you distracted. They get you tired of something, kind of like the whole, you know, health crisis stuff, where people are tired of it by now, and they're going to get probably swallowed up into another new one that's coming eventually, and people will buy into it and you know, lose more and more of their individual rights because of it. And this is another one of those things where people are just, they're tired of it. They want it to be gone. They, you know, my goodness, we've been sending billions of dollars. We've been hearing about it. Let's just get it over with. We cannot allow ourselves to become complacent because events like this, I think, very much play into the whole globalist, you know, New World Order, Great Reset thing. America has to come to her knees. I have said this for many, many years, long before I ever had a YouTube channel, that for their globalist plans to work, really the only way for them to work is America has to collapse in some way. In some way, America has to come to her knees. Because America, in a constitutional sense, the way that America is meant to be, I'm not saying the way she is now or the way she's been for a while. I'm saying in an America that the Constitution is fairly strong, that the economy is strong, that people are enjoying their freedoms, that everything is fairly stable, okay? Not perfect, but fairly stable. This New World Order globalist plans wouldn't be successful. So that's why we're seeing this constant barrage, these attacks on America, on every aspect of our lives and our society. Everything from family values to, you know, Christian and religious values to moral beliefs and standards, everything, you know, family structure, economy, supply chain, everything is under attack here in America. And they're doing that, I believe, specifically to bring us down to our knees, because that's the only way that their master plan is really going to work, is this: America is weak. And so that's why we're seeing this. And part of weakening America is so that someone else that will follow the game plan even better, someone that's presenting a blueprint for what the New World Order should be, will probably rise up. And Klaus Schwab himself said that China, that other countries should look to China as a blueprint for how to get things done. So I think reading between the lines, it's pretty easy to come up with what's going on. I can't tell you that it's all going to happen. I can't tell you that we're going to absolutely be in war with Russia and China. I can tell you that the odds are pretty good for that. I'd say at least in the next couple of years, probably a lot sooner. And when I say a couple of years, that's being very, very gracious in that, very liberal in my terms, but I think probably a few months. We have to keep getting ready for that, because when that day happens, it's going to be obviously an escalation of war, but an escalation of the whole global reset, new world order stuff. I know that many of you, and I agree with you, that Russia is kind of the wild card outside of that system, or working outside of that system. Probably. I think Russia's alliance with China is probably only to suit their own, national interests. But the point is that for us, for Americans, we're going down a very slippery slope of losing our sovereignty, losing our independence, and losing what sense of traditional moral values that we've ever had because of this reset. And it's happening. It's most certainly happening. We have to continue to get ready for it, and continue to prepare. Get your houses in order. I say that all the time. I'm sure many of you are tired of it, but I say it for a reason, because it's so necessary. It's necessary not just because of the political stuff, because of the health stuff, because of the financial stuff, the supply chain stuff, the destructuring of America, but also the spiritual stuff. You have to get your houses in order, folks. Generations before us have been talking about these days that are coming ahead of us, these days of Noah, these last days, these days of destruction and annihilation. Well, it's very possible that we are either living in those days or we are coming up on those days. So look at history and learn from it, and get yourselves ready. Get your houses in order. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.